Hey, nice dress. That's great. They don't love me. They don't love. No one loves me. It's kimonos. Nice. Why are you wearing kimonos? Are you eating ice cream? What is this? Candy. 月曜日でしょ？学校はないの？ないの？その緊急なんとかのせいで？卒業なんだ。中学校の卒業？高校生か。Excuse me, I love that outfit. Pink and blue. That's great. Is there a festival today? Why are you dressed up like that? Event? 何のイベントで？なんでこの格好してる？なんか特別イベントとか？ないの？でもかっこいいじゃない。まあ僕は同じサイズがあってたら多分ちょっと。Is this for a photography club? Is this for a photography club at school?
No.
Oh, this is just your hobby? Why are you guys dressed up like that today? だから見てたらちょっとちゃんと褒めたい。Nice. 友達のみんなに伝えてくださいよ。まあもっとやろうよこれって。Okay? Air high touch. Yeah. これは単純なホビーだけで。そっか。君たちはこの町の人？僕はじゃない。僕新宿から来ました。どこから来ました？千葉？東京？東京。Wow. じゃあ借りたじゃなくて自分の服。Wow. OK。ねごめん撮影邪魔しちゃって。ただ面白いな。長野みんなもう。だって新宿でみんなこの格好はしないだから絶対話しかけてよ。じゃあいっぱい写真撮ってくださいね。Yeah, OK。頑張って。じゃあ君たちはなんで上野に来ましたの？仕事？殺し屋？なんで上野までに来ましたの？
毎日上野仕事してる。
どの仕事？
キャバ嬢。
俺の元カノとそっくり。イエーイ。俺の元カノより多分態度がいいと思うけどね。聞きたいことがあるの？例えば、なんでホットドッグがそんなに好きとか、ハンバーガーなんでそんなに食うとかあれ？じゃあこれ。アイスの一番美味しいな味はなんだ？
抹茶、バニラ、チョコミント。
Oh! It's not freezing, but it is jacket weather. In the morning here. It's 5 a.m. and I still see people walking around this walking path. Top 10 things I want to accomplish for 2021. Papa Tkyos's New Year's resolutions. If I could wake up at 7 a.m., it would be good. Start drinking 2 gallons of water a day. Start investing more in stocks and crypto. Stop drinking sugar so often. Number 5, stop eating junk food. Moderation over perfection. Number 6, travel around Japan more. So number 7, grow a higher social media presence. Number 8, go from 42k subs over on YouTube to 10k, or wait, 100k subs. Over 100k subs on YouTube. Number 9, make more than $5,000 a month off of YouTube. And number 10, the biggest, probably hardest goal for me to reach is go from 186 kilos to 100 kilos. Right now I am over 400 pounds and I'm the biggest I've ever been in my life. So hot yesterday and it's not freezing, but it is jacket weather in the morning here. It's 5 a.m. and I still see people walking around this walking path.
Imagine you wake up tomorrow morning and you click on my Instagram account and you see me standing with my arm around a man in a costume, dressed up like Mickey Mouse. And in the background, you can clearly see the distinctive architecture of Disneyland. The most normal thing in the world. Oh, I guess he went to Disneyland and took this photo of himself. And then you read the text I have next to the picture, say, no. You have to click and see my YouTube video. I actually met and spoke to Mickey Mouse. He's a friend of mine now. I want you to click and hear the conversation we had. And then you click, and there's this whole video of me sitting and back and forth speaking to Mickey Mouse and showing you how I met and made friends with and got along with Mickey Mouse. What Tkyosam is doing, what David Bond is doing, what innumerable pickup artists are doing on the internet, what innumerable people who package and commodify fantasies on the internet are doing, even if that's the polyglot fantasy of running away to Japan and starting a new life rather than the pickup artist fantasy of sleeping with 100 different women before you turn 30, so on and so forth. What they are doing is just as phony as posing for a photograph with Mickey Mouse. That's a man in a costume who's being nice to you because he has been paid to be nice to you. He is trained to be nice to you. And even if you didn't directly pay him yourself, you bought a ticket, or you bought food, or you bought beer, you paid for something that's indirectly paying his salary so that for just a few minutes, he'll pretend to be your friend. Some of you watching this video come from cultures that don't have this kind of entrenched, transactional, sexless prostitution surrounding you at all times that Japan has, that Taiwan has, that Hong Kong has. All of these countries have bars where men routinely pay women to pretend to be their friends. And that cultural pattern, to some extent, extends out onto the sidewalks, onto the streets. For example, women who try to entice customers to come into particular restaurants or particular bars standing on the streets. Tkyosam knows the act he's engaged in. When he's trying to make those girls laugh, the young women who work as hostesses at a bar, when he's trying to make them laugh, they're not picking up on it, they're not replying, they're not showing theirs. Oh, hey guys, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream? This is practiced, hackneyed bar girl banter. Okay? He knows what he's doing. They know what they're doing. I think they're frankly kind of run down because this guy is harassing them when they're taking a break from work. They're just trying to have a meal. That is not the bar they work at. That was just where they were trying to grab lunch or dinner or whatever it was. And this guy with a camera basically comes up and starts harassing them. And they switch back into this set of practiced behaviors that are every bit as phony as the kind of friendship you can get from Mickey Mouse. Why do I bother criticizing this? Because it harms people. Because it hurts people. And the people it hurts the most are those who are vulnerable, those who are weak, those who yearn for this fantasy, those who want most to hear and believe this message. Who in their right mind would believe Tkyosam when he said, now 10 years ago, when he said that at 300 pounds, it just didn't matter at all how fat he was for how he got laid. He said that about Japan. In the whole world, is there another culture that's more obsessed with being thin? Is there anywhere other than Tokyo where thin is more in? If you told me you could get fat in Georgia, if you told me you could get fat in the south of Texas at 300 pounds, I'd listen to you, okay? There are some cultures, Mongolia, there are some, Samoa, okay? Like there are some cultures where people are accustomed to tolerating fat men up to a certain point. Japan is not one of them. Who were the people who 10 years ago fastened onto that fantasy, who listened to what Tkyosam was saying and wanted so much to live that life. And who are the people who are hearing and responding to that same message today when he's now over 400 pounds? The last I heard, about 410 pounds. When he's making the same preposterous claims, and when he is, to a large extent, recycling stories about women he flirted with, women he allegedly slept with, more than 10 years ago. It does hurt people. It hurts people of all ages. I've known teenagers who come onto the internet and they condition themselves this way. They program themselves this way. But I've known middle-aged men, men who've been through divorce, men who've been through a midlife crisis, men who never got married and divorced in the first place, men who've made it to 30 or 35 and are still more or less virgins and are looking for a new strategy, for a new approach, new hope. The people who pay social media influencers to give them hope are precisely the people who are the most hopeless, the most vulnerable, the most downtrodden, the most brokenhearted. It's the people who need to believe these lies that will overlook all the grotesquely obvious hints that what Tkyosam is saying to you can't possibly be true. Human sexuality is tragic. Period. No matter how much of it you have, no matter how many people adore you, no matter how much you may exhaust your biological urges on a daily basis, people want what they can't have. They want things without understanding the consequences, and above all else, people in love, people with a crush on other people want you to be someone you're not. They want you to be the person they need you to be. And that's not who you are. And whether it's with the most fleeting of flirtations or the most deadly serious romance over many years, that is inevitably and inexorably tragic. Now, the world Tkyosam presents to you is one in which certain kind of lighthearted laughter, mocking laughter, is like a good sign that you're working towards flirtation, seduction, sex. Nothing of the kind is true. And I mean this globally, not in any culture, anywhere in the world. I've had interactions with women that were quite somber. Frankly, interactions with women that were silent, but where all parties knew just how serious it was. I've had women make it completely clear to me that they were seriously romantically interested in me, really without saying a word. And I'm just going to use one example to show you what I mean by how tragic these things are. It often struck me when I was a parent, either when I was married or when I was divorced and had custody of my daughter. And women would approach me. Women would flirt with me. They would hit on me. They'd try to, and yes, sometimes it was a casual sort of flirtation, but sometimes it was really serious. They were looking for the man they were going to marry, etc. And how do I get across to you? How do I get across to this woman? You know, as Bob Dylan said, it ain't me, babe. And like, how do you get across to them? You want me to be someone I'm not and someone I never can be. Or do you just snub them, insult them, and get on with your day, get on with your life? Now, this is a perspective Tkyosam has never had. And I don't know, maybe 50% of the men in the audience know what I'm talking about, and 50% of you never will. And what with women, is it maybe 80% of you know what I'm talking about, and 20% of you Never. It's a little bit different for the genders. What it's like to try to refuse someone while saving face, right? Not wanting to hurt their feelings, not wanting to cause a scene, right? How you manage those situations. I can remember days where, I was taking care of my daughter as a newborn, and that's like 22 hours a day, and the only break I got was walking to the grocery store to buy groceries and carry them back alone. And I'm not going to nightclubs. I'm not going to flirt with them. Women really came at me in those situations. And I remember just thinking, like, how can you so utterly misinterpret the signal? I was not in a mood to flirt with anyone. There's one that'll stay with me for the rest of my life. It's always especially obvious that a woman is really serious about you, even if she doesn't say a word. When maybe the woman is with her sister, she's with her best friend, or she's with her mother, and the two of them are talking together about you. And you can see, and then, just through eye contact zone, you can see what's going on. I was on a train once. So I was with Melissa and my daughter on a train. There was a woman, I would guess the woman was in her early 30s, and her mother was probably in her early 60s. And I just had to get up and pass them repeatedly to go to the bathroom. Oh my God, you could read everything in the expressions on their faces. And they got to see me and in that sense interact with me a couple of, you could you could see the mother saying, oh, he could be, oh, it doesn't look, I had a nice suit on, whatever. They're making up whatever fantasy in their minds. I never said one word to them. I never expressed any interest in them whatsoever. And the third time I went past them, just to get through the train and get to the bathroom door, I was carrying my daughter. Before they had perceived me as single. There was no reason to think I was single. I didn't lead you on, lady. It was so memorable to me because you're walking on this long train car. You have, even if it's a full 60 seconds or whatever, you know what I mean? It's enough time. And both the woman in her 30s and the woman in her 60s, mother and daughter, they both stared at me with such anger and disgust and contempt, like as if I cheated on her or something, as I'm carrying my daughter. And I'm talking to her in a cute way and so on. I'm bringing my daughter to the bathroom on that train, right? Human sexuality, real human sexuality, not this candy-coated, commodified bullshit on the internet, is tragic. Tkyosam is taking two different things that really never should be glamorized, never should be lied about, never should be commodified in this way, and combining them. And people line up to donate hundreds of dollars to him each and every live stream just because they want to participate in this fantasy. And what are the two things he's trying to commodify? Language learning and sexuality. How would you feel, Sam, if you were watching a 400-pound Hispanic man on the streets of Los Angeles, California, who's just so proud that he's managed to teach himself English after immigrating to the United States, doing the same thing you're doing? A 400-pound Mexican immigrant. And he hit the books and he tried really hard. He still doesn't speak English that well. And he's just striking up conversations with high school girls, striking up conversations with college students. And then he's putting those same titles on the videos you do. Titles and thumbnails that 100% falsely claim that these women were flirting with you, that these women were hitting on you, that this was something sexually gratifying for them. That he misrepresents himself as this great Lothario, and he makes his money by selling the fantasy to other Mexicans. It doesn't matter how fat you are. It doesn't matter how stupid you are, how ignorant you are, how ugly you are. All you need to do is learn English, and come to Los Angeles, come to the United States of America, and you can waddle around the sidewalk like me. You can live like a king. Sam, the reality is you're living like a hobo.